Every gardener, at some point in their journey, comes face to face with a heartbreaking sight, a pepper plant that looks like it is drawing its very last breath. Its leaves are tightly curled, almost as if they are shriveling away from the world. Its once vibrant foliage has faded into a sickly, pale yellow, and its growth has ground to a complete halt. When you see a plant in this state, it is incredibly tempting to pull it out by the roots, throw it into the compost pile, and start over. But before you make that mistake, you need to understand that this plant is not dead. It is simply crying out for help, trapped in a state of severe biological stress and nutrient imbalance. With the right intervention, you can bring it back to life stronger and more productive than ever before. Most gardeners don't know this, but a struggling pepper plant is rarely suffering from just one isolated problem. If you take a closer look at a failing plant, you will see a complex web of issues playing out right before your eyes. Let's start with the young leaves at the very top of the plant. When these new tender leaves emerge curled, puckered, or completely distorted, it is a classic warning sign. This distortion is almost always caused by tiny sap-sucking pests like thrips, spider mites, or aphids. These microscopic invaders target the softest, most nutrient-rich parts of the plant, piercing the delicate cell walls to drink the sap. As they feed, they inject toxic saliva into the plant tissues, which disrupts normal cell division and causes the leaves to grow in a mutated curled shape. But the mystery deepens when you look further down the stem. While the young leaves are curled, the older, mature leaves present an entirely different set of symptoms. They display a patchy, mottled yellowing, yet their veins remain a sharp, distinct green. In the gardening world, this is known as interveinal chlorosis. This is a clear, unmistakable cry for essential micronutrients, most notably magnesium and zinc. Magnesium is the central atom in the chlorophyll molecule, which is responsible for photosynthesis in the plant's green color. Without it, the plant cannot convert sunlight into energy. Zinc, on the other hand, is crucial for hormone production and internode elongation. When these elements are locked up or missing from the soil, the plant begins to starve from the inside out. What happened next surprised me when I first began studying plant pathology years ago. I noticed that alongside the yellowing and curling, there were physical holes torn through the leaves. This is the handiwork of chewing pests, such as hornworms, beetles, or slugs. These pests don't just ruin the look of your garden, they actively strip the plant of its solar panels. Every hole in a leaf reduces the surface area available for photosynthesis, forcing the plant to work twice as hard to produce a fraction of the energy it needs to survive. To make matters worse, look down at the base of your struggling pepper plant. More often than not, you will find a dense carpet of aggressive weeds wrapping around the main stem. These weeds are not harmless ground cover. They are fierce competitors, aggressively stealing water, nitrogen, and minerals from the shallow root system of your pepper plant. Even worse, this dense, overgrown weed canopy creates a humid, stagnant microclimate at the base of the plant. This is the ultimate breeding ground, providing perfect shelter and protection for the very pests and fungal diseases that are eating your plant alive. If you want to save your plant, you must first eliminate these sources of environmental stress. Here is the step many people skip. They try to fertilize a stressed plant before cleaning up its environment. This is a critical mistake that can actually kill the plant. Instead, start by clearing a clean, weed-free zone around the base of the pepper. Carefully hand pull every single weed within a 12 to 16-inch radius of the main stem. Be gentle during this process, as you do not want to tear the shallow, delicate roots of your pepper plant. Once the ground is clear, it is time for some surgical pruning. Grab a pair of sharp, clean pruning shears and remove every single yellowed leaf, as well as any foliage that has been heavily damaged by chewing pests. Many gardeners hesitate to prune a weak plant because they fear it will weaken it further. However, the truth is that older, damaged, and diseased leaves are a major drain on the plant's limited energy reserves. The plant will continuously waste precious nutrients trying to keep these dying tissues alive. By removing them, you allow the plant to redirect all of its energy and metabolic resources toward generating fresh, healthy new growth. Furthermore, these compromised leaves are prime real estate for fungal spores and bacterial pathogens. Removing them immediately breaks the disease cycle and improves air circulation throughout the entire plant canopy. With the foliage cleaned up, we must address the soil. Gently loosen the top layer of soil around the base of the plant to a depth of about 1 to 2 inches. This simple act of aeration breaks up compacted soil crusts, allowing vital oxygen to reach the root zone. Plant roots need to breathe just as much as they need water, and compacted soil can literally suffocate them. As you cultivate, be extremely careful not to dig too deeply or too close to the main stem. Pepper plants produce a network of fine feeder roots very close to the surface, and damaging these roots will set your plant's recovery back by weeks. Once the soil is loose and airy, your plant is finally primed and ready to receive the targeted treatments that will trigger its ultimate transformation. Now that we have cleared the physical stressors and aerated the soil, we must tackle the invisible enemies hiding on our plant, the sap-sucking thrips and spider mites. These pests are incredibly small, often invisible to the naked eye, but their impact is devastating. Because they multiply at an alarming rate, a minor infestation can become a full-blown crisis in a matter of days. Many commercial chemical pesticides claim to solve this problem, but they often do more harm than good. They can kill off beneficial predatory insects, leave toxic residues on your future harvest, and even cause chemical burns on an already weakened plant. Here is where the real secret begins. You do not need expensive synthetic chemicals to rid your garden of these pests. Instead, you can create a highly effective, completely non-toxic biological spray using 3 simple ingredients you likely already have in your kitchen. This formula works on a physical level rather than a chemical one, meaning pests cannot develop a resistance to it over time. To prepare this biological solution, start by pouring half a gallon of clean, room temperature water into a clean mixing container. It is best to use filtered water or rainwater if possible, as chlorinated tap water can sometimes irritate sensitive plant tissues. Next, add exactly 1 teaspoon of a mild biodegradable dish soap. This is a critical ingredient, but you must use the right kind. Avoid heavy-duty, concentrated dish soaps that contain harsh degreasers, artificial fragrances, or chemical dyes, as these can strip the protective waxy cuticle right off your pepper leaves, leaving them vulnerable to dehydration and sunburn. The science behind why dish soap works is fascinating. Water has a high surface tension, which causes it to bead up and roll off leaves and insect bodies. The dish soap acts as a surfactant, breaking this surface tension so the liquid can spread evenly across the entire leaf surface. More importantly, the soap dissolves the protective, waxy outer coating on the bodies of soft-bodied insects like thrips, spider mites, and aphids. Once this waxy layer is compromised, the insects quickly dehydrate and perish. To make this solution even more potent, add 2 to 3 drops of standard cooking oil. Vegetable oil, canola oil, or soybean oil all work beautifully. This tiny amount of oil plays a crucial role. It acts as a natural suffocant, coating the breathing pores or spiracles of the insects upon direct contact. Additionally, the oil helps the spray adhere to the slick surfaces of the leaves, preventing it from evaporating too quickly or washing away with the morning dew. Stir the mixture thoroughly but gently. You want to fully integrate the soap and oil into the water without creating an excessive amount of foam. Once mixed, transfer the liquid into a high-quality spray bottle with an adjustable nozzle. Give the bottle a gentle shake right before you begin spraying to ensure the oil remains evenly suspended throughout the water. When it comes to applying this spray, your technique is just as important as the formula itself. Most gardeners make the mistake of only spraying the tops of the leaves. However, thrips and spider mites are incredibly smart. They hide, feed, and lay their eggs almost exclusively on the undersides of the leaves and nestle deep within the tender, newly emerging growth tips at the top of the plant. You must get down low and aim your spray nozzle upward, thoroughly drenching the undersides of every single leaf until the solution is dripping off. Timing is also absolutely critical. Never apply this spray in the middle of a hot, sunny day. The combination of water, soap, and intense sunlight can act like a magnifying glass, causing severe leaf burn that can permanently damage your plant. Instead, apply the treatment in the early morning, just as the sun is rising, or in the late afternoon when the sun's rays have lost their intensity. This timing allows the solution to remain wet on the leaves for a longer period, maximizing its contact time with the pests before evaporating naturally in the gentle breeze. Because this biological spray works through physical contact, it only kills the pests that are actively present on the plant at the moment of application. It does not have a systemic, long-lasting chemical effect. Therefore, if you are dealing with a heavy infestation, you must reapply the spray every 3 to 5 days. This schedule is designed to disrupt the life cycle of the pests, catching any newly hatched nymphs before they have a chance to reach maturity and lay more eggs. Be patient, stay consistent, and watch closely. Within just a few applications, you will notice the population of these destructive pests dwindle to zero. With the pests under control, we can now shift our focus to the most exciting phase of the recovery process, rebuilding the plant's health from the roots up. While the biological spray protects the plant from external threats, we must now feed the soil to stimulate cellular repair, root development, and rapid vegetative growth. To do this, we are going to brew a nutrient-rich, microbial-stimulating soil elixir using two incredibly common kitchen staples, a ripe banana and raw rice. Most gardeners don't know this, but banana peels and banana flesh are packed with an abundance of natural potassium, along with trace amounts of magnesium, calcium, and sulfur. Potassium is a powerhouse macronutrient for pepper plants. It acts as a regulator within the plant's vascular system, controlling the opening and closing of stomata, which are the microscopic pores on the leaves that manage gas exchange and water loss. A plant rich in potassium can handle environmental stress, drought, and temperature fluctuations infinitely better than a deficient one. Furthermore, potassium is the key driver behind robust flowering, strong stem development, and heavy fruit production. To unlock these nutrients, take one fully ripe banana. First, thoroughly rinse the outside of the peel under cool water to remove any dirt, dust, or potential surface impurities. Next, use a sharp knife to slice the entire banana, peel, flesh, and all, into very thin rounds. Slicing the banana increases the overall surface area exposed to the water, allowing the organic compounds, natural sugars, and minerals to dissolve much more rapidly and efficiently during the extraction process. Place these nutrient-dense slices into a clean, wide-mouthed glass jar. Now here is where the real secret begins. We are going to add 2 tablespoons of raw, uncooked rice directly into the jar with the banana slices. Rice is not just a food source for humans, it is an absolute goldmine for your garden soil. Raw rice grains are coated in starches, complex carbohydrates, and essential B vitamins. When these starches are soaked in water, they dissolve, creating a cloudy, nutrient-rich liquid. When you apply this starch-heavy water to your soil, something magical happens beneath the surface. The starches act as an immediate, highly accessible food source for the beneficial native microorganisms, fungi, and bacteria living in your soil. These microbes are the unsung heroes of your garden. As they consume the starches, their populations explode. In the process of digesting this organic matter, these beneficial microbes break down locked-up minerals in the soil, converting them into a highly bioavailable form that your pepper plant's roots can easily absorb. In essence, the rice water doesn't just feed the plant, it feeds the soil biology that feeds the plant. Once your sliced banana and raw rice are in the jar, pour in approximately 1 quart of clean, room-temperature water. Stir the mixture vigorously for a minute or two. This initial agitation helps loosen the starches from the rice grains and begins the process of dissolving the soluble potassium and sugars from the banana slices. Once stirred, place the jar in a cool, dark, and well-ventilated spot in your home or garden shed. Let the mixture steep undisturbed for 6 to 12 hours. During this quiet soaking period, a gentle, cold extraction process takes place. The water will gradually take on a cloudy, slightly amber hue as it absorbs the vitamins, minerals, starches, and natural plant hormones. Do not let the mixture steep for much longer than 12 hours, as it will begin to ferment and turn anaerobic, which can produce sour odors and harbor unwanted pathogens. A 6 to 12-hour soak is the sweet spot, capturing all the beneficial nutrients while keeping the solution fresh, clean, and highly active. What happened next surprised me the first time I used this natural elixir on a dying pepper plant. After the soaking period is complete, give the mixture one final, thorough stir to ensure all the concentrated nutrients settled at the bottom are fully integrated back into the liquid. Next, place a fine mesh strainer or a clean piece of cheesecloth over a clean watering can or pitcher and pour the mixture through. This is the step many people skip. They try to dump the solid banana pieces and rice grains directly onto the soil around their plants. This is a mistake you want to avoid. While those solids will eventually decompose, they will also attract unwanted pests like ants, fruit flies, and rodents to your garden bed. Furthermore, large chunks of wet organic matter sitting on top of the soil can create localized mold outbreaks. By filtering the mixture, you extract all of the soluble, fast-acting nutrients into a clean, easily absorbable liquid while keeping your garden tidy and pest-free. You can throw the leftover banana and rice solids into your compost bin, where they will break down safely over time. Now, take your filtered liquid gold out to your garden. When applying this elixir, you want to be precise. Do not splash the liquid onto the leaves or pour it directly onto the main woody stem of the pepper plant. Instead, focus entirely on the drip line, the circular area of soil directly beneath the outermost tips of the plant's branches. This is where the active, hungry feeder roots are located, waiting to absorb moisture and nutrition. Slowly pour about 10 to 16 ounces of the solution around the root zone of each mature pepper plant. Allow the soil to drink it in deeply. This homemade elixir delivers a gentle, easily digestible dose of organic matter, potassium, in starches that immediately goes to work. It revitalizes the soil structure, wakes up the dormant microbial life, and provides the recovering root system with the exact building blocks it needs to repair damaged tissues. For the best results, use this fresh solution immediately after filtering and apply it to your struggling plants once a week. In the days following this treatment, your primary job is to maintain a stable, stress-free environment. Keep the soil consistently, slightly moist, but never soggy. Overwatering a recovering plant can easily lead to root rot, which will undo all of your hard work. Here is another piece of wisdom passed down from experienced gardeners. Resist the temptation to apply strong synthetic nitrogen fertilizers during this delicate recovery phase. High nitrogen fertilizers force the plant to produce rapid, succulent green growth before its root system is strong enough to support it. This weak, forced growth is highly susceptible to pest attacks and wind damage. Let the gentle organic elixir do its work naturally. The results became visible just days later, and they are nothing short of miraculous. Within 3 to 5 days of the first treatment, you will notice that the leaf-curling pests have completely vanished, and the remaining leaves will begin to take on a deeper, healthier green sheen as the magnesium and zinc start to work their way into the plant's circulatory system. By the end of the first week, if you look closely at the leaf nodes along the main stem, you will see the first signs of ultimate success. Tiny, vibrant green buds of new growth pushing their way out. These new shoots will grow rapidly, unfurling into perfectly flat, broad, healthy leaves that are completely free of distortion. This is the ultimate sign that your pepper plant's biological system has successfully returned to a state of perfect balance. By taking the time to understand the language of your plant, clearing away its stressors and nourishing its soil naturally, you have saved a life and secured a bountiful future harvest. If you want to continue mastering these natural, time-tested gardening secrets and learn how to unlock the full potential of your backyard garden using simple, sustainable methods, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below sharing your own experiences with struggling plants and let us know how this simple kitchen remedy works in your garden. Happy gardening, and we will see you in the next video.